Hey guys, I thought I would just make a little video to put in my 2 cents with this whole school experience and talk about my experience as a homeschooler. I was homeschooled from 1st grade all the way through my senior year of high school, so that's about the whole shebang. And okay, so homeschooling. I was taught by my mother, my amazing mother, who you'll hear more about her fabulous teaching skills in a minute. It was me, and I have a twin sister who was 1 grade behind me because she was dyslexic, so she had a little trouble getting started, but once she, got out of the gate, she was great. And then we have a younger brother who's 4 years younger than us, so 4 grades behind us, and our youngest brother is 4 years younger than him, but he's not as prominent in these stories because, obviously by the time he started going to school, I was already way, way ahead of him and stuff. And so, here's how it works. My mom would get catalogs of curriculums, and she'd pick out which curriculum we would be doing that year. So, and you would get a complete set. So, she would say, oh, this year we need 1 6th grade curriculum set. And so you would get your 6th grade math, your 6th grade biology, your 6th grade English, history, whatever, all that. And you get it all in one great big box. And I remember when the boxes would come at the end of summer, that was when you knew vacation was over, because there were these big, heavy book boxes on the front porch. And she only really had to get one every year because I was the oldest, and so I'd be starting a new grade, but then everyone else would be behind me, and so they would inherit my books next year, and then I would get a new set. And I remember I wasn't supposed to write in the books or, write down any of the answers or write down any notes in the books because they'd be being reused, but I used to write in, like, the very edge of right where the page meets the spine of the book, especially towards when I was like 12 or 13 or 14. I would write little messages to my siblings who would be receiving the books after me. I'd write messages like, you're almost to the end of the chapter, or hang in there, if you're reading this, you're almost to summer vacation, little messages of encouragement or what have you. We did not go to class in our pajamas. For some reason, a lot of people used to ask me this, especially when I was, in high school age. People would ask me if I did my lessons in my PJs, and I was, no, we are not a bunch of layabouts. We would get up at a decent hour. Classes would start by 9 o'clock, fully dressed, like we were going to a real school. I mean, it's not like homeschooling was a free pass and we just got to sit around on our asses for 12 years. No, it was like we really learned and we really worked hard, and so we took it very seriously. And plus, we didn't have any reason not to start at 9 a.m. because if you started early in the morning, you could be done with all your school by lunch. And that, people, I have to tell you, was really one of the highlights of homeschooling, is going at your own speed. You finish your math lesson, you don't have to sit around and wait for 30 other kids to finish their math lesson. You finish the math lesson, you close the book, you're done, move on to the next subject. So you get to go as fast or as slow as you need be. So, my mom, there's some loud motorcycle in the street. My mom and her amazing teaching skills. Now, my mom never studied to be a teacher, but I think she always should have been. She had a natural knack for it. And here's a little tidbit, one of the highlights. One year, I think it was the year, I guess I was 10 or 11, so then my little brother would have been, 6 or 7, and then so on and so forth. And we were studying the Middle Ages, or like, medieval England. And my sister and I, because we were 10 or 11. What grade would that be? Would that be like 5th grade for you guys? Anyway, and so my sister and I would learn about like the feudal system and who would the king wear, and properties and logistics and war and all that, the more sophisticated stuff. Whereas my little brother was learning about like knights in armor and the simpler things, but the same time period, so that we were all studying the same unit of history all together. And so then at the end of the unit, at the end of the semester, we celebrated our completion of the unit with a medieval feast. And we took all the furniture out of the living room, and we brought in a long table and 2 long benches. And we hung blankets on the wall, like tapestries, and we had a big fire in the fireplace, and we roasted meat over the fire, and we ate at this long banqueting table, and we were all in costume. And my mom was the queen, my dad was the king, and my brothers and sister were princes and a princess. And I think it was sort of expected that I would be another princess, but I really wanted to be a jester, minstrel type. And I remember I had one of those zithers, you know, like those like trapezoids with the strings across them, and you slide the sheet of music up in the base of it and you pluck along I had a zither, and all night I would keep doing this big dramatic strum along the zither. I wouldn't even be playing any notes, just all the notes all at once. Very dramatic. But we did all sorts of cool stuff like that. We did medieval feast. I remember when we were studying the pilgrims, we did pilgrims, not pogroms. Pilgrims that came in the Mayflower. And we had a sleepover that we pretended we were in the Mayflower. There was a really narrow room in our house, so we like hung a lantern from the ceiling, and we were all in sleeping bags, and we pretended that we were sleeping on board the Mayflower, and we had to write journal entries about how excited we were to get to the new world and what we were going to be like in the new world and how thrilled we were to be leaving England and all that stuff. But no, I thought homeschooling was an amazing experience, but it's also an experience that makes you wonder, because I never had the experience of going to a real school, a public school, and I'll never know what that experience was like. So, you know, going to these classes with 30 people and having different teachers every year, and but I'm most curious about dances. We never had any dances or proms, you know. Would have been pretty lame, just us in the basement. But although I remember my senior year of high school, there was an opportunity to go to a homeschool prom. Like, we got the homeschool newsletter that was like, homeschool prom, sign up now. But gosh, I couldn't think of anything that would be more depressing than going to a prom where nobody knew anybody, because none of us went to school together, none of us would have ever met before, and it just would have been like this awkward, horrible, although, you know, from what I can get from television shows and movies, is that proms are pretty awkward, right? I assume so. I wouldn't know so. But homeschooling was so awesome. And I got through all the notes on it. I took a page from Michael Buckley and I did a sticky note list. Obviously I have a zillion more homeschool anecdotes, but I don't want this video to be too terribly long. I just wanted to contribute, be like, homeschooling you guys. It's pretty cool. So maybe I'll make another video and talk more. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Bye.